Hello everyone. So now hopefully you've got your lists of goals and things you aren't going to do. I want you to go back through those and look at any that require someone else to do something. Is your son, did you put, I'm going to have my son or my child potty trained by a certain time? You have only control over yourself. So to guarantee that your child will be potty trained, I know a lot of moms make that mistake. They're going to do everything in their power to make sure that child's potty trained, but the child still has autonomy. That means that child can still make their own decision, and their decision could get in the way of your decision. I am going to be on time to everything. Well, generally you will have things that happen when you're driving. Maybe traffic's slow and you couldn't anticipate it. Maybe there's a wreck. You couldn't anticipate things like that. And if you're going with someone else, if they don't choose to be on time, it's very hard to make sure you're on time, and you can make others' lives pretty miserable. So make sure that no matter what goal you set, it is not reliant on other people. If you are in a family, living or with roommates or stuff, living together in the same place, to say your place will be spick and span at all times. Maybe you can say your area will be, but in common areas, you don't have full control over that. So take that into consideration and look at anything you have written down. And if any of those that you've written down include and require other people to accomplish, then mark it off. But not if it just, you're thinking, well, I have to have someone else to accomplish this activity. So maybe you need money or things like that. Those you can leave on, but be aware of. And we will talk about that in another video. But it's the things where you have to force someone to do something to be able to accomplish it that you don't want. If the activities you possibly could still do, and leave on. One, if you have a spouse and you want to have a anniversary night, go ahead and leave that on. Yes, that requires your spouse, but unless you know, I will say, unless you know your spouse would not want to do it, and you're saying, I'm going to do this with my spouse, well, then maybe don't include that one. But if it's something that just, well, I'm going back to the idea of skiing that I talked about. Someone in a wheelchair needs to have help going down the slope when they do ski. So it requires the help of someone else. However, they could work with people to find someone willing to go with them. So that one's different because it's not a specific person. It's just in general. And that one's okay. It's when it's a specific person, so you have to make them for you to accomplish. And it's not something that they would want to do. Then don't include it. And the reason for that is you can't change anyone else. You can't do anything about other people's attitudes, other people's choices, behaviors, things like that. The only person you can change is yourself. So when you're making goals, things you aren't going to do, things you are going to do, etc., you need to make sure that those are ones that can be done. And to do that, you need to make sure it's things that are only specific to you. They can be general for other people, like the going skiing, but not, I'm going to go skiing with so-and-so that I know hates skiing. So, I hope that helps, and we'll wrap it up in the next video. Thanks. Bye.